I also now want to come to a very important part of our breaking news broadcast. And this is part 9, viewers. Now, the astonishing fact which emerges here is this. Please listen carefully. The ex-BARC CEO's name is Sunil Lulla, Shawan. Sunil Lulla tells the Enforcement Directorate that the vigilance proceedings against Times Now were not considered in the forensic report. Which means that the forensic report was half-baked. Not only that, Sunil Lulla says he was not informed about the vigilance proceedings against Times Now. So he is the BARC CEO in 2020. He says, I didn't know that there was a vigilance proceeding against them. He said, therefore, that BARC's so-called forensic report, which Parambir and Mumbai police was using to fix me, did not consider the vigilance proceedings against Times Now. Had they done so, the results would have been completely at variance. What did Parambir claim in this matter, Shawan? What had Parambir's claim been?
So Parambir basically brought in an auditor called Acquisiry Risk Consulting Private Limited.
Yes.
And said that this was based on that report, Republic TV is not number one. There are malpractices, households were being bribed. That's what Parambir Singh said.
Yeah.
It turns out that even Acquisiry Ornam was asked this question by the Enforcement Directorate, that did you or did you not receive information about the vigilance inputs? Acquisiry said, no, we didn't. And then ED was asking this question, that had you been given this data, would it be different? They said yes. Now, Sunil Lulla was also asked this question. It's a 2-page report, page number 79, as Arnab was pointing out. The last paragraph, he's asked a question by the Enforcement Directorate, and I'm quoting. On being asked whether the vigilance proceedings of Times Now was considered in the forensic report, he inter alia stated that the vigilance proceedings of Times Now was not considered in the forensic audit report, as he was not informed of the vigilance proceedings. Hence, the same was not considered. He's made a big admission. If
that had been considered, the results would be completely
different. And that is
that would have explained why Times Now's numbers were what they were.
Absolutely. Because this is...
Now, obviously, Sunil Lulla said, I didn't know about it. As an institution, did they not know about it?
And that's the criminality.
The CEO can come and say, I didn't know about it. What about the institution? There was institutional memory.
Yes.
There was institutional memory, Rhythm. Yes. Abhishek, are you hearing me? There was institutional memory within BARC. 100% it's undeniable that institutional memory would have existed within BARC about this matter. How can they say as an organization we did not know?
Exactly.
Can they say that, Abhishek?
Oh, absolutely, Arnab. I mean, the manner in which they have effectively been part of the entire corporate conspiracy to compromise the Republic's standing, it was almost as if they wanted to take down Republic, coming together, all these corporations, companies, some people within the BARC system, because otherwise, why would they give this compromised data to the Mumbai police, and the Mumbai police would use that compromised data to come to the conclusion that it came to?
And why would Sunil Lulla not know about it? Sunil Lulla was the CEO of Times Now. Sunil Lulla was the CEO of Times Now.
Yes.
And now that he knows about it, what is his responsibility? He quietly goes to the ED and says, I didn't know about it. I had no idea about it. I don't know. I didn't give them. The forensic auditors say we were not given it. We had no idea about it. You're reading in one more part out here. Sunil Lulla says out here, and I want to point out this part. Can I just pick this up? Viewers, with all of Rhythm's notes. It says, viewers, on this part, if you can say this. If you can zoom in on this part, please. Can you zoom in on this part, please? Yeah, thank you. It says, on being asked whether the vigilance proceedings on Times Now were considered in the forensic report, he inter alia stated that the vigilance proceedings of Times were not considered in the forensic audit report, as he was not informed about the vigilance proceedings, hence the same was not considered. How can you do this? How can you say, I didn't know about it, if it had an impact on the way the data was put out, Shawan? This means that the forensic report that Parambir was trying to tom-tom was incomplete. It means that the claims in the forensic report have no basis. And therefore the questions are, what if the forensic proceedings, what if the vigilance proceedings had been included? in the auditor's report.
It would have been completely
It would
different.
have been completely different.
And Sunil Lulla, there is one more point here. Selective amnesia, I would say, because he knows about the fact that all information was being provided to the other auditor acquisition.
Absolutely knows.
He says he was asked this question on being asked whether the documents evidence provided to Acquisition Risk Consulting Private Limited for conducting the said audit.
Correct.
He entirely stated BARC provided the emails
I can't
and
believe-
related attachments of specific individuals.
I can't believe
No, note
is
this.
just-
Note
you know,
this.
it's
And
just-
it looks
it's just-
like
I mean, this-
it looks like a complete
It's a
hit
joke.
job because
It looks like a hit job. I'm sorry to
because
say that.
they say that related attachments of specific individuals employed by BARC and past employee was copied from BARC system to the hard disk of Acquisition Risk Consulting Private Limited.
This is just something else.
Very conveniently, this is the big picture. The big picture is this, that Mr. Sunil
Where is
Lulla knows.
Parambir also in all this?
Because the
The
Parambir,
question is, did Parambir ever talk to Sunil Lulla? There should be CDR investigations of the phone conversations between Sunil Lulla and Parambir. Were there formal, informal, social, unsocial interactions between the two? Was there a familiarity between these two individuals? Was there a message exchange between Sunil Lulla and Parambir Singh? Is the CBI going to look into this aspect? Is the CBI going to question Sunil Lulla? Is the CBI which is going to come into this matter? And I have some breaking news right now. We can share this, viewers, that the CBI
So not
is, and this is the one grid which needs to fire, that the CBI is already beginning an investigation into the criminal aspect of what happened.
they are already.
They're already breaking
They
it,
are
right?
already midway. So after the Enforcement Directorate, the other big agency that has stepped in, viewers, is the Central Bureau of Investigation, looking into the.
So you're saying
allegations of
CBI is
TR.
coming in, the CBI
And
which was blocked by Uddhav
specifically-
is now going to take the CD report
Yes.
and begin its own
Yes,
investigation.
absolutely.
And
The
has it questioned Sunil Lulla? Has it questioned the other BARC officials? Who are the others who it has questioned?
We can confirm the information that I have from my sources is that top BARC officials have already been questioned by the Central Bureau of Investigation. They have already looked into not one state. Unlike the Mumbai police, a pan-India TRP scam is being probed by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Special focus right now on the functioning of BARC. The fact of the matter is that large part of evidence was hidden because they did not want the truth to come out.
Okay.
It turns out CBI is looking into it.
Okay, so this is very, very important new revelation which comes out right now. If we look at the big picture, if we look at the larger picture out here, what is now emerging? Where is Parambir? Should he not be made more answerable in lieu of the present facts? Subhash, the question of Parambir really now comes into focus, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Arnab, it is not for all of us here to find him where he is. It is certainly for the CBI to go and get him. And he is not very far away from here, from the High Court. His official residence is very close to the Bombay High Court.
Very, very close to the
Bombay High Court.
To Bombay High Court.
Official record.
And so also the office of CBI, headquarters of CBI.
Okay.
Also ED?
Also. Oh, I mean, I think there should be complete transparency on matters like this. There should be no doubt. There should be complete transparency on matters like this. That becomes very, very necessary. Very, very necessary out here, isn't it? Very, very necessary.
Arnab, can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Arnab, my short point is Mr. Sunil Lulla,
Yes.
the ex-CEO of BARC,
Yes.
is abdicating his responsibility from this whole ruckus
Yes.
that has been created
Yes.
by saying that I did not know what was going on.
Yes.
But you said that there is an institutional memory.
Yes.
When CBI commences its investigation,
Yes.
what is the substratum of the conspiracy or of the scam that has taken place against you? The substratum
What is the
BARC
culpability
report.
of Parambir Singh? What is Parambir Singh's culpability in all of this?
He is obviously standing right at the top after the BARC report, because the BARC report is the basis of this. Because without that report, without Mr. Sunil Lulla, without BARC as an institution, if I were to sue, I would sue first the CEO put number 1, number 2 would be the name of the company of which he was the CEO, or put 1 or 2 that way, either way. And then third would be the person who read out that report, which was Mr. Parambir Singh. So as and when you go ahead for malicious prosecution,
Yes.
that will be the culpability of all the people who are involved and who are named. And especially when the CBI completes, or should I say even has an interim report on the criminal conspiracy aspect, because it should start its investigation from the base of the scam. The base of the scam is the report.
Yeah.
If I did not have that in my hand, I would not be able to say anything in a press conference or even otherwise. So because the report is there, whether it's fudged, fake, forged, whatever it may be, I have that as the base. I need to start my investigation thereon, and then I need to go ahead and start. Now, I for once believe and agree with Subhash where he says that the investigators need to be taken to task. Yes, they need to be. And I would not, again I repeat, have a pessimistic view that they are going to go scot-free. I don't think he said that today. But I know one thing for sure, that the investigators can be sued for malicious prosecution.
Is it not
and
necessary?
especially
Does
after
not,
you
not
get this
become
report out.
necessary in our country? I want to ask you, Subhash, that when you go through so much and when you make such claims and then you take action and you fabricate evidence, as has now come out, what is the law on malicious prosecution in our country? Subhash.
Arnab, as of now, the law on malicious prosecution is not very effective. It is not a very effective mechanism.
Yes.
We have to now. It is for our constitutional courts to realize that the manipulation or maneuvering of investigation is so rampant.
Yes.
And look at this case, look at Republic case. The attack on Republic should never be seen as a solitary attack on one particular press. It was attack on what is known as the fourth pillar of democracy. Never ever happened after 1976-77.
Yes.
After emergency case, it never happened. Such an
Yes.
attack was for the first time
Yes.
of this magnitude on any press and media. So therefore, it becomes a matter of grave public importance.
Yeah.
If the fourth pillar of the democracy is sought to be demolished or dented like this, one cannot be a astute spectator. And it is ultimately for the constitutional courts also step in. And I would request you that take it to its logical conclusion. See to it that the law is developed. This is how the law will be developed. Arnab, you have been responsible for 1 landmark judgment, 2 landmark judgments from the Supreme Court. Take this, and this is how the law will develop.
Yes, Arnab, one short point I would like to make. The first case which was against you of the Anwar Nayak case, where you were given a liberty by the Supreme Court, where you were freed, that made you a poster boy for liberty rights, for personal liberty. But I would rather want that you are the champion of free press, which is what will happen when you sue for malicious prosecution and defamation, both civil and criminal. Because once you get this report, once you get your matters squashed before the High Court or whatever the courts where they are lying this TRP case, then you have a judgment in your favor. And in as much as Subhash is right about the fact that we don't have a very developed law for malicious prosecution, which is true, but we do have a Vexatious Litigation Act. Malicious prosecution is considered under the law of torts, and people do sue. It's not that much developed as a precedent, but I believe firmly that precedents, before it ever became a first precedent, there were none.
Yes.
So it took some courage for people to go ahead and say that, look, there is a precedent, there never was a precedent, but now let's make one.
Yes.
So as Arnab Goswami never stands at the end of any tradition, he starts one.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what should happen when you go ahead and sue the people who have been behind you or who are after you. Because it still doesn't sink in my mind, looking at this 138-page report, that when there is a chat between an agency and another particular channel, why is an altogether different channel brought under this? Yes, there were certain exposés carried out by Republic TV, but I don't think that is the only reason. There have to be certain other reasons as to why this rating agency needs to keep quiet. I would want to go to deeply investigate this as to why you would want to keep quiet. What was the emolument or what was the enticement to keep quiet after this came out? I am a credible agency. I have to come out and say that, look, I did not have this report. This is the report that was there. it is being fudged by the people. I am not responsible. You should have said at that time, when you were being taken to, you were being heckled and you were being troubled. When this huge investigation of 1,000 hours of TRP case where Vikas Khanchandani was picked up from his walk, this, that and the other was going on at that time, there should not be any silence. And secondly, if you recall, Partha Dasgupta was being heckled to write an affidavit or to swear an affidavit against you, saying that yes, Republic was fudged, but he did not budge an inch. Possibly, I don't know much of the details at that time, I don't remember. But I know one thing for sure, that he did not bow down to that. And so all of these things that one CEO now lifts his hands up, maybe because he was out of commission or omission, whatever it is, but I need to investigate this a little bit more thoroughly if I am the Central Bureau of Investigation, so that I can start at the base of it and then come out properly.
Absolutely.
And I hope I don't stop midway if I'm the Central Bureau of Investigation.
I need to go to part 10 right now, viewers, because this is also very important, and Shravan, I need your help as I go through this. There is a charge which is being investigated against India Today as well. And again, India Today is under investigation. It is being probed along with one more channel. And there are some details which have now come in, and we need to look at those details. Essentially, the Hansa employee has confessed to the BARC vigilance team about cash for viewership. And